implement the order of the Supreme Court?
Of course. Where is the government saying we are not implementing it?
Well, your Chief Minister Ashok Chavan has said, and I quote, "There is no question of implementing this order. We have formed a 4-member committee to try and look at options to challenge this order."
Please understand, I think you're getting completely mixed up in semantics. What he means is we are forming a 4-member committee to consider filing a review petition or a petition to the Supreme Court. He is not saying that till such time as the Supreme Court decides otherwise, he is not bound by the order. Nobody can say that.
I've quoted him verbatim, but I want to go now to Jitendra Awadh, a senior NCP leader. In 2003, Mr. Awadh, your party and your current Home Minister R.R. Patil was the one who raked up this issue. You very rarely see eye to eye on any issue with the BJP and Shiv Sena, but on this issue, you're fine. I mean, you're fine to be seen on the same boat as the opposition.
Making my point clear, let me give the political situation of 2003. When this book was read and when this book came into public notice, our party was one of the few parties who took a political stand, a social stand, by saying that nobody can character assassinate Shivaji or his mother. Now, at that juncture, you please check the statements of Mr. Lal Krishna Advani, Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, both who were Deputy Prime Minister and Prime Minister of the country. You can check the statements of Raj Thackeray, the stand taken by Shiv Sena in 2003 and 2008. Now we are consistent on our stand that we will not allow anything which is derogatory, which is insulting the feelings of the common Maharashtrian Manus.
But the difference, Mr. Awadh, between 2003 and 2010 is that today you have a Supreme Court order, an order from the highest court in this country to lift the ban. That is the difference.
With due respect to the Supreme Court order, I ask you a simple question. James Lane has written in his book saying that the biological father of Shivaji, and he creates a controversy. Can I ask you a simple thing? Tomorrow a friend of yours comes and asks you that your father is not your biological father. Will you give him the right to freedom of expression and freedom of speech?
But I'm not going to use that to attack him and to hold trains to ransom and to hold entire cities to ransom. I'm giving you my answer. I'm giving you my answer to that. I'm not going to use that question, Mr. Awadh. I'm not going to use that question and the fact that, as you said, my friend has asked me that question, to ransack cities, to ransack public property and to indulge in arson and violence. That is the point.
We are not supporting anything which will lead to violence, which will lead to arson, which will go into burning of public property. But there is something called as public sentiments also. When our heroes who are worshipped day in and day out by generations together for last 350 years, a layman from somewhere in the world comes down to Pune, makes friends within the upper community of Pune, and this upper community and that guy from somewhere from America form a bloody conspiracy, and they insult the common man's feeling, the public sentiments of the common man of this country.
Your point on sentiment may be taken, but your point about violence and the fact that the NCP doesn't condone violence is completely misplaced, because the NCP did indulge in violence. Let's not twist facts here. I want to go to Deepak Sawant, Shiv Sena MLA. Mr. Sawant, the point is simply this, that you've taken Shivaji, the symbol, and you've used it for your own narrow political mileage. You've realized that Shivaji cuts ice with a large section of your electorate, a large section of your vote bank. It means good votes for the Shiv Sena, and therefore you've used the name of this great leader of Maharashtra for your own petty political gains. That is the fact of the matter, isn't it, Deepak Sawant?
No, first of all, I will condemn your statement, because we have never used Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj name for the capitalizing the votes. We have never used his name for anything else other than the worship. Shivaji Maharaj is idol for us, and I don't think anybody can claim on this, because it is a Shiv Sena's heart. Every Shiv Sainik has got a great respect for Shivaji Maharaj in his heart.
But
So no
how come the
question
Shiv Sena didn't
of
raise this issue back in 2003? How come it was left to the NCP back
Yes,
then
of course.
to raise this issue?
I think your memory is very short. Your memory is very short. You go to the past and you take out the press cuttings and all these things. Today also we have shown in the council that how we have done in the past also, and we are going to do present also, and we will do in the future also. If somebody claims that if somebody assassinates the character of the Shivaji Maharaj, then nothing.
I'm not sure how that gives right to anybody to take the law into their own hands. Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, I'm coming back to the whole point about this is simply, the moot point is about freedom of expression. It's been guaranteed in the constitution of this country under Article 19. By not implementing this order of the Supreme Court, isn't the Maharashtra government headed by your party actually going against the grain of Article 19?
But I am telling you that you are wrong in what you are saying. This phrase that by not implementing the order, you are wrong. Till such time as a properly constituted review petition or some proceeding unknown to law is filed in the Supreme Court, the whole country, including the Maharashtra government, is naturally bound by that order. Now today, as of today, as you and I speak, there is no ban on the book. What other implementation do you want? The fact that there is no ban on the book, because the ban has been set aside by the Supreme Court, does not mean that the Chief Minister and the state of Maharashtra have to take bagfuls of the book and sit at street corners to sell the book.
No, there is no sale. There is no sale of the book in Maharashtra. There is no sale of this book in Maharashtra.
Nobody is preventing it. You please tell a distributor to sell it tomorrow. What is the problem?
The problem is publishers are mortally scared. Publishers and bookstores owners are mortally scared that political parties and goons will take advantage of this and attack their property. Nobody wants to risk that.
No. You cannot answer a preemptive speculation. The government of Maharashtra's obligation is not to go out and ensure that publishers come out, put their printing presses to roll, publish the book, take it to a place and start selling it.
Isn't it the responsibility of the government of Maharashtra to ensure law and order in the state and to ensure that if this book is put out by publishers, then nobody will take law into their own hands and attack bookstores and publishers and authors?
Of course, but where is the book being put out for sale? Suppose
it's not being put out for sale precisely because of fear.
How do you know? You see, it's a vicious circle reasoning. Let the books be put out to sale, and then you can point an accusing finger if, and I repeat, it's a big if, such an incident takes place, and then again a big if you find the state government of Maharashtra not up to the mark.
Okay,
today,
I want to get closing comments.
Saying that the government of Maharashtra is not enforcing the ban. There is nothing. The government of Maharashtra has only told you that it is considering by a properly constituted committee whether it can file a appropriate proceeding in the Supreme Court.
Okay, Alex Padamsee, I want to get closing comments from you. At the end of the day, it's the common Mumbaikar, the common Maharashtrian who's been left in the lurch. It is he who suffers as political parties cutting across the divide, whether it's Congress, NCP, Shiv Sena, BJP, all of them sailing on the same boat on this issue. And the so-called Marathi Manus that these parties claim to represent is the one who actually is worst hit because of this.
Yeah, I would agree. What happens is the common man in Bombay has been subject over the years, over the last, I'd say, 15, 20, maybe 25 years, to as soon as any political party decides that they don't like what is being done, they run riot. They smash taxis, they burn buses, they burn railway trains, all public property for which our taxes are going to support.
That's right.
And I think it's time that the center, and I put my finger straight on the center, said anyone who breaks the law, particularly in violence, will be put behind bars. When is the Prime Minister of India going to issue that edict? If he can't, then the President of India.
All right, we'll wait and see how that plays out. Jitendra Awad, I want to get closing comments from you. For all of today, no business was transacted in the Maharashtra Assembly. There was chaos both inside and outside the Assembly. You are part of the ruling government. What will your government do to ensure that tomorrow is different?
Tomorrow has to be different. Tomorrow has to be different because you have made speculative comments. Try to understand that in 2003 only, Oxford, the publisher of the book, has withdrawn the book. They said that they are not going to publish the book. Again, James Lane has submitted an affidavit saying that on page number 93, where in certain paragraphs where I have carried the derogatory statements against Shivaji Maharaj, I have withdrawn it. So this matter comes to an end. And over and above that, let me be very clear as a lover, as a person whom I always considered as my idol. Anybody who tries to damage or who tries to malign the image of Shivaji Maharaj or his mother is insult to Maharashtra, and we will not tolerate it. Whatever you might think that we might take law in hand,
what about violence? What about violence? Do you condone the violence?
See, I'm not supporting the violence, but that doesn't mean that any damn character.
It was a famous victory against a deadly enemy. But it wasn't without controversy. Sparked when a Kargil hero cried foul over the army's view of his role in the Kargil conflict, a charge denied by the army chief.
I was really looking for a redemption of honor for me and my brigade because we were seen to be not having done our job and somebody else had to come and do our job for us.
I wrote whatever is true, whatever I observed, and no personal animus was there.
But upheld by an armed forces tribunal that ordered the army to rewrite Kargil history and give the brigadier credit. But the army has declined now.
The war of words lasted 4 years, and then the Armed Forces Tribunal gave Brigadier Devinder Singh, who commanded troops in the Kargil war, a favorable judgment. Now, the army wants to contest that judgment.
But for now, all sides have stuck to their stated positions.
I'm really not there to look at any material gains, which if there are some, there will be incidental, but really I'm not seeking any material gains.
The Army's special leave petition challenges the verdict of the Armed Forces Tribunal. We will have to see what kind of truth comes out eventually. Srinjoy Chaudhary, Delhi, Times Now.
Our first political debate on the interesting coincidence that Mr. Nitin Gadkari, chief of the BJP, has been making one controversial statement approximately every 48 hours regularly over the last 6 days. Who's provoking whom? Is he seeking controversy? Is there a plan behind all this? Is Mr. Gadkari trying to keep the RSS happy, or does he want to be the more aggressive face of the BJP? What's going on? That debate in 2 minutes tonight. Before we begin our news hour debate tonight, as we speak tonight, the Congress and the BJP, both sides, are absolutely daggers drawn. The issue is Mr. Nitin Gadkari, the president of the biggest opposition party in the country. Mr. Gadkari, who seems to be on a mission to provoke the Congress. Now, we've sidestepped this on Times Now for a few days, but it's become such a interesting pattern that Mr. Gadkari makes one controversial statement every 48 hours, the Congress response. Now, either this is a well-crafted political strategy or a desperate attempt to stay in the news. Here's what's been happening.
तुम्हारा जवाई है क्या? ये किसकी औलाद है? तुम्हारे लड़के दिए क्या उसको? औरंगजेब की औलाद है.
Tactless or desperate.
कुत्ते जैसे सोनिया जी और कांग्रेस के घर पर तलवे चाटने लगे.
Ever since he took over the reins of the BJP, Nitin Gadkari's diatribes have now unleashed fireworks from the Congress.
आतंकवादियों को गले में हार पड़ रहा है और कांग्रेस का महामंत्री आजमगढ़ में आकर उनके घरों में जाकर दिवाली का जश्न मना रहा है. ये किसकी औलाद है? यह छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज और महाराणा प्रताप की औलाद है कि औरंगजेब की औलाद है?
ये भूल जाते हैं नितिन गडकरी जी कि अफजल गुरु की जो पैरवी कर रहे नितिन गडकरी जी के दस्तखत से ही राम जेठमलानी जी को राजस्थान से राज्यसभा का भाजपा का उम्मीदवार बनाया गया।
But Mr. BJP President refuses to stop.
मैं कांग्रेस के नेताओं को पूछना चाहता हूं, अफजल गुरु तुम्हारा जवाई है क्या? तुम्हारे लड़के दिए क्या उसको?
আমি আশা করব রাজনৈতিক নেতারা যখন তাদের বক্তব্য রাখেন তখন স্বাধীনতার সীমা যাতে লঙ্ঘন না হয়।
मुलायम सिंह और लालू प्रसाद यादव जो कांग्रेस और यूपीए के विरोध की बात करते हैं, वो भी जाकर सीबीआई के सामने झुक गए। बड़े डकैते थे शेर जैसे, पर कुत्ते जैसे बनकर सोनिया जी और कांग्रेस के घर पर तलवे चाटने लगे।
किस तरह से और कैसे गंदा आदमी को भारतीय जनता पार्टी का राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष बना दिया गया।
On the face of it, the BJP is defending its president, but there are those who can't hide their embarrassment.
संयमित भाषा के द्वारा ही व्यक्त करना चाहिए और कड़ी से कड़ी बात भी उचित शब्दों में कही जा सकती है।
He's a man who seems to have introduced a new law in political language.
कुत्ते जैसे बनकर सोनिया जी और कांग्रेस के घर पर तलवे चाटने लगे।
But one can't deny there's a strategy behind it, desperate as it seems. With Shikha Agnihotri, New Delhi, Prerna Thakur Desai for Times Now.
Our guest this evening, BP Singhal of the BJP, Abhishek Manu Singhvi of the Congress Party, Vinod Mehta of Outlook and Vinod Sharma of the Hindustan Times. Mr. Singhal, what is wrong with Nitin Gadkari? Suddenly, he seems to have become overactive. He's using all kinds of language. We ignored it ourselves, but suddenly it seems to us as if he's doing it deliberately and he's doing it too often. Why is he doing this?
You see, I'm reminded of a professor who was working on his table and his wife suddenly came, said, "Oh, आग लग गया है, जल्दी करिए." तो he said, "आग लग गया नहीं, बोलो लग गई है." तो बोला चलो तो देखो, बोले पहले ये इसको ठीक करो, आग लग गई है। तो आप लोग सब वर्ड्स पे जा रहे हैं, कंटेंट पर नहीं जा रहे, जिस कंटेंट के कारण पूरे हमारे देश के दिल में आग लगी हुई है उसको नहीं पहचान रहे, शब्दों पे दौड़े चले जा रहे हैं। अरे भाई जो
मिस्टर सिंघल
जुड़े हुए लोग हैं, जरा चल के देखिए मेट्रो में या हवाई अड्डे पे जाते हैं, वहां पर बैठिए, देखिए क्या कह रहे हैं लोग।
नो मिस्टर सिंघल,
उनको सुनिए तो पता लगेगा दिल का दर्द कहाँ है।
मिस्टर सिंघल, there is a way of saying things. There is a way of saying things. My point is, July 11th he makes a comment.
We are not here to discuss
on Afzal Guru. July 8th he makes a comment on.
But you can't allow the content to be overshadowed by the words. Yes.
But
a lot can be said about the words. You can use better words, no doubt. But वो जो दिल में इतनी तकलीफ है ना, उस तकलीफ को रिफ्लेक्ट करता है।
मुझे
उसको तो कोई ध्यान ही नहीं देता।
नहीं, ये तकलीफ जो है,
one
second, Mr. Singhal, ये तकलीफ जो है, this hurt you are talking about, suddenly a taklif has come to the fore after the meeting with the RSS recently in Rajasthan. I am told the RSS had a huge stake, and it told Mr. Gadkari, do not forget, we are the ones who have appointed you. You need to bring the Hindutva agenda back. After that, 3 consecutive days, Mr. Gadkari has gone on about Afzal Guru, that people who go to Azamgarh are relations. No, Mr. Singhal.
Arnab, I ask you one thing. आपको तकलीफ नहीं है कि अफजल गुरु अभी तक हैंग क्यों नहीं हुआ? Are you not feeling terrible about it?
No, I am not here to answer your questions. No, I am not going to answer.
That is what he is reflecting. That is what Gadkari is reflecting.
No, I am not answering your questions. I am letting Abhishek Manu Singhvi answer your questions. Vinod Sharma, Vinod Mehta,
because you cannot answer that question.
No, it's not that I cannot answer. It is not my job to answer, Mr. Singhal. Let the Congress answer your questions. Mr. Singhal,
you raised the point.
Singhvi, 1 minute, Dr. Singhvi. You fell right
now
into
I asked Mr. Singhvi, okay, I asked him, when is Afzal Guru going to be hanged? ये सवाल का जवाब दे दे भाई.
Dr. Singhvi is listening to you. Let him answer.
Arnab, firstly, this is a program not about Afzal Guru and the law surrounding Afzal Guru. It's the program about abusive language which has become entrenched in the psyche of the BJP. So let's not try to deflect matters. Number two, yes, you are right. This is part of a strategy, a calculated, deliberate strategy. It goes back to the stalwarts of the BJP, the so-called stalwarts like Mr. Narendra Modi. Remember all his comments about Michael Lingdo, about Sonia Gandhi. It goes to Vinay Katiyar. You remember his comments in UP. It goes to the various Parivar members, so-called Parivar members, whom Mr. Singhal knows well, which include Mr. Praveen Togadia, who used the most nice, pleasant language. It goes through to Mr. Gadkari, who doesn't learn his lessons from the last and today calling virtually very senior regional party leaders dogs and now using this epithet. So let's get that in perspective. Now, the point is, the only mistake the BJP is making obviously is that this calculated, deliberate strategy which they have thought out is actually backfiring on them. Why? Because India has changed. India is not the India which they believe the India is. Today, Indians do not believe in this kind of vituperative, abusive language.
Sir, look at how your party is responding.
On your television channels all over.
No, but look at how your party is responding. You have not responded, but I know another Congress spokesperson. 1 minute, sir. 1 minute. You may be more temperate today, Dr. Singhvi, but there's another Congress spokesperson who has responded by saying, and I mean, your party is the same party that started off the whole thing by calling Narendra Modi Maut Ka Saudagar. Your party has said that, and I have the quote here, that put Mr. Nitin Gadkari in a psychiatric facility, organize a political and social boycott of Mr. Gadkari. Mr. Gadkari needs serious psychiatric help. Your party has said it. So you've fallen straight into Mr. Gadkari's trap.
Arnab, no, please listen. First of all, you are completely mistaken if you are equating Mrs. Sonia Gandhi's Maut Ka Saudagar phrase, which is purely a metaphor, nothing but a metaphor. It is nothing to do with it. Mr. Modi's remarks have antedated Mrs. Sonia Gandhi by many years.
Okay.
Second, the remark you are mentioning about the Congress spokesperson was a reaction.
No, but
it was a response.
You've fallen into
now
a
it's
trap.
possible you can formulate it differently.
And this also is a reaction, Abhishek.
No, I agree.
No, this also
I
is a
agree
reaction
that the people of India are not going to
Afzal Guru.
decide our...
This is a reaction too.
Please let me answer,
Because Afzal Guru
Arnab.
just
Let me answer, Arnab.
defies to be hanged.
Arnab.
That is a reaction to
Arnab,
the
let me answer.
Afzal Guru.
I will.
If you justify that.
Arnab, let me
That's
answer.
what I'm saying. Mr. Gadkari
Arnab.
has put it. I don't.
Can I come in?
He
One
could have
second.
used better words, no doubt.
Mr. Singhal.
But he is expressing
Mr.
the pain of
Singhal.
the country.
Mr.
And if you
Singhal,
say
you know
this is not the pain of the country,
Mr. Singhal.
I'm sure you are absolutely cut away from the country.
Mr. Singhal, your party president came saying, I am a man, I am a visionary with great ideas, innovative approach, I am an able administrator. Is this the innovative approach that has been brought into politics? You know, you have called Mulayam Singh Yadav and Lalu Yadav, compared them to canines in the past. Now you come ahead with this. You are trying to deliberately cause a polarization by referring to Aurangzeb and Azamgarh immediately after a meeting with RSS leaders. That's my whole point. Abhishek Manu Singh,
Have you forgotten Varun Gandhi? Arnab, have you forgotten Varun Gandhi?
No.
And the important point, Arnab, is when Varun Gandhi spoke like that, when Modi spoke like that, when Vinay Katiyar spoke like that, and now the BJP president speaks like that, who condemns it? Does Mr. Advani condemn it?
But you felt...
Do the so-called senior leaders of the BJP condemn it?
No, but
they don't. They encourage it. They tacitly encourage it. They overtly encourage it.
Behind the language. Abhishek Bhaiya, you are going behind the language.
The whole
country
politics,
is not interested in language. It is interested in action.
A lot of it is to do with language.
The country action. You are no good.
You have to say what you mean.
Generally, Dr. Singhvi, people do believe, and I'm going to the senior journalists on the panel, people do believe that, these are all empty words eventually. These are all attempts to divert and distract. Yeah. It is like what is happening in Karnataka. People are doing all kinds of things, but nothing is happening as far as the Reddy brothers is concerned. Vinod Mehta, what are you making of this, this acerbic diatribe going on between these two parties? Suddenly, last 4-5 days.
Arnab, the first thing I want to I mean no disrespect to Dr. Singhal, but I am very surprised that on an issue which concerns the reputation of the BJP president, the senior spokesperson of the BJP are absent. Where is Rudy? Where is Ravi Shankar Prasad? Where is Nirmala Sitharaman? Where is Prakash Javadekar? Are they all hiding? Is this an indefensible issue?
No,
That's one point. But you are not a. But you are not a senior spokesperson of the party.
Those who are invited come to such.
So he's okay. The second thing to note, Arnab, is that Mr.
What are you getting at, Dr.
Let me say something now. This is not fair. Arnab, this is not fair. If he keeps interrupting me, how am I going to speak?
Sure. Go on. Carry on.
What I am saying is further to the point that those remarks may be abusive, but they are also silly and offensive. I mean, I think Winston Churchill and Pillu Modi's reputation is not threatened. The main reason why Mr. Gadkari is doing this is because he's a poor public speaker. He's made no impact in the party. He's probably a worse public speaker than Dr. Manmohan Singh. And therefore he needs to get into all this kind of abuse to attract attention. But as Abhishek said, these things come back to bite the person who has said them. So at the end of the day on your program today, we should be discussing whether Gadkari is a good BJP president or a bad BJP president. No. We are now discussing Gadkari's foul language. This whole thing boomerangs and it doesn't do them any good. So I think what Mr. Gadkari needs to remember that he gets very bad publicity when he speaks like that.
Okay.
He should take a lesson out of Narendra Modi's book, that at least when Narendra Modi was being abusive, he was at least to the point, but Mr. Gadkari is just silly. These are silly remarks. They are not offensive, they are silly.
My understanding of the debate just now in this evening, my understanding is that we are going to discuss the remarks that Mr. Gadkari gave in respect of Afzal Guru. Now, अफजल गुरु उसका जवाब तो पहले दे दे, हम सब जवाब ले लेंगे. वी केपेबल ऑफ आस्किंग मिस्टर गडकरी कि ये आपने ऐसा लैंग्वेज क्यों यूज किया, पहले हमको जवाब दे देंगे कि अफजल गुरु को आप कब हैंग कर रहे हो, कम से कम इसी का जवाब दे दें.
If you want to raise the question of Afzal Guru, there is a way of raising that. It's a very legitimate question what Mr. Singhal is asking, that when is Afzal Guru going to be hanged? But this is not the way to ask that question. This in fact is counterproductive, because instead of talking about Afzal Guru's hanging, we are talking about the inane and stupid remarks of the BJP president.
My question,
so
Vinod
this
Sharma.
actually backfires on them in many ways.
Vinod Sharma, I have two questions. My first question is to Vinod Sharma, who has been silently listening on. Vinod Sharma, tell me, isn't the Congress little uneasy, because Gadkari's remarks are hitting the Congress where it hurts the most? Congress has been trying to play down the Afzal Guru issue and BJP wants to keep it alive. Now simply when the BJP president raises it like this, he manages to bring it back to the public domain. Forget the form.
Barring perhaps Afzal Guru, I think that the remarks that Mr. Gadkari has made against Mulayam Singh and Lalu Prasad Yadav and now against Digvijay Singh, I don't think that any political party that claims to be the principal opposition in Parliament would be in a position to defend these remarks. And as Mr. Mehta has rightly pointed out, that not a single official authorized spokesperson of the BJP is there today to defend Mr. Gadkari. Earlier also, the defense of Mr. Gadkari when he called Afzal Guru a damad, whether he was a damad of the Congress party. Now he could have, when Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi himself says on your program that one can use civilized language to be belligerent in one's criticism, I don't think Mr. Shingal has any case left. Does Mr. Shingal disagree with Murli Manohar Joshi? No. But let me finish, Mr. Shingal. Let me finish. Do you disagree with Mr. Murli Manohar Joshi, who has had a long innings in Parliament besides you? You or yourself have been a parliamentarian. I think that Mr. Gadkari has been a singular embarrassment to the BJP ever since he has taken over as BJP president. He doesn't fit into the shoes of any of the past presidents of BJP, including Bangaru Lakshman, if I may say so. Bangaru Lakshman was caught on the camera, but Bangaru Lakshman never used this kind of language. This is not the language Mr. Vajpayee taught the BJP. This is not the language Mr. Advani uses in Parliament. And this is not the conduct of Sushma Swaraj, who has reached out to Sonia Gandhi and has a perfect equation with her today on various issues on which they agree. So I think that Mr. Gadkari is destroying the idiom of discourse in Indian Parliament.
Mr. Singhal,
and I think the sooner he is made to shut up, the better. I'm sorry I've used this
strong
word
language,
shut up, because that is perhaps the word he understands, and I've deliberately used it.
No, but strong language. I am confused.
Regular competition?
No, Mr. Singhal, let me put it bluntly here. What Mr. Gadkari is trying to do is trying to play the communal card. What else explains the statement about Azamgarh that he has made yesterday, where he says a Congress General Secretary is celebrating festivals with the families of terrorists in Azamgarh. The Congress must decide whose descendant he is, Chhatrapati Shivaji, Maharana Pratap or Aurangzeb. This is standard, basic, religious stereotyping that the BJP president is doing, Mr. Singhal. You know it. You may like it because you believe in it. But this is not the face of the BJP that Mr. Vajpayee was known for. And this is 4 days after a meeting with RSS leaders in Rajasthan.
The question is
Arnab,
whether it is
Arnab,
let him reply. I'm coming to you after
that causes them to go to Azamgarh, or is it some lust for votes that is sending them to Azamgarh?
Why has
I agree. We can express them in much better language. I don't disagree there. But it becomes questionable if you go to Batla and say nothing about the sacrifice of the inspector and call for an inquiry repeatedly, and almost
Mr. Singhal,
the Congress had given into it.
Mr. Singhal,
the patriotic elements are at a discount in this country.
Mr. Singhal, from Narendra Modi to Varun Gandhi and now Nitin Gadkari, the BJP has failed in the last 2 years whenever it has followed this brand of provocative politics. That is exactly where Nitin Gadkari is going. Many people thought he would not go that way. The BJP has failed there. I just want to see how Abhishek Manu Singhvi is reading this, because this indicates a change of strategy.
Arnab, this is a much larger issue. 1 minute. Arnab, this is a much larger issue. The larger issue is...
1 minute.
Can I just speak?
How are you?
Can I just speak?
Dr. Singhvi,
Can I just speak?
Mr. Singhal, let Dr. Singhvi respond. My charge was there of playing the communal card. Let Dr. Singhvi respond. Yeah.
I think we've all made the points, and many of the points are relevant, which I have heard Mr. Sharma and Mr. Mehta making. I have made several earlier points. Without repeating them, I want to say this, that this is also indicative of a much larger issue. The larger issue is, this is the real chehra, the real chal and charitra of the BJP. It all keeps coming out once in a while. You may have all the sophisticated masks of verbiage, of sophistication, of decent language, but behind is a certain feeling of intolerance, which is the heart of the BJP. Intolerance, a incapacity to understand the diversities of India is the real issue behind this, and that is where it is frightening to know that this is a pretender to the throne, a major opposition party which wants to rule this country, and is repeatedly showing its fangs. It is showing the teeth, the real teeth for eating, whereas it keeps showing the elephant teeth only for show. Well, people are not taken in by the teeth you show. This is the real BJP you are seeing. Time and again it comes out in moments of irritability.
And how can you? And you only concentrate on the words. And what about the content in any case?
No, Mr. Singhal has been repeatedly talking about the message inherent to what Mr. Gadkari said. Unfortunately, when he made that comment about Afzal Guru, there was no discussion at all in any of the media on Afzal Guru. The discussion was on the idiom deployed by Mr. Gadkari. So I think he's defeating the BJP's own cause by using the kind of language he does. I think that he needs to be sent for a crash course in good parliamentary language. I don't think anybody should be allowed to vitiate public discourse in the manner that he's doing.
Well,
I'm not going to defend a wrong comment, but I would still want to, I still insist.
No, you are.
बता तो दो कब करेंगे उसको hang.
नहीं,
इतना झगड़ा वर्ड्स पे जा रहे हो.
I think Gadkari could have asked it that simply. तो बता तो दीजिए कब उसको करेंगे hang. Why could Gadkari have said it?
Even he asked.
Why did he have to make these ridiculous comments that whether Afzal Guru is somebody's damat? It is insulting to womanhood, I suppose, to make this kind of comment. It is grossly insulting
okay.
to women at large.
Vinod Sharma,
question of womanhood.
No, 1 minute.
Where is womanhood coming into this?
Let's not make sexist remarks. Vinod Mehta.
What is this damat metaphor?
Damat is the one who is very carefully looked after in our country. He Mr. Singhal VVIP. That is what he was referring to as damat.
Mr. Singhal, let Mr. Mehta make a point there. I have an observation to make on what Mr. Mehta said earlier. Yeah.
I wanted to make a point that no one in Indian politics needs strong language. Given the nature of Indian politics, we should use strong language. We should use rhetoric. We should use humor. We should use repartee. We should even use insult. But this is ridiculous. I am saying that at the end of the day, this is neither of these things. This is shooting yourself in the foot. What Mr. Gadkari has done has shot himself in the foot, because all the three issues, that what he said about Lalu, what he said about Afzal Guru, what he said about the third thing, they're all very relevant. But the way he has raised them, he has shot himself in the foot, because instead of discussing those issues, we are discussing Mr. Gadkari's language. If I was a friend of Mr. Gadkari and if I was his speechwriter, I would say, Mr. Gadkari, you are actually shooting yourself in the foot. Your questions are relevant, but the manner in which you raise them is extremely silly and inane. So raise them in a more intelligent manner. But the question you must ask is, Mr. Gadkari capable of raising them in a more intelligent manner? I am not too sure of that.
One point on what Vinod Mehta said earlier, just an observation. I would say not all BJP leaders and spokespersons are desperate today to defend Mr. Gadkari. That is a true fact. Not all of them are very keen to be on cameras defending Mr. Gadkari. He has made the comments. It's not like the whole party is flocking to defend him. That Mr. Singhal is putting up a brave defense. But Mr. Singhal, even the rest of the BJP, not everyone is, not Sushma Swaraj, Arun Jaitley, Chandan Mitra, everybody is not lining up to say we will defend Mr. Gadkari. That seems to be the feeling one has. So what Mr. Mehta says has some basis. Why? I don't know. I wonder why. I wonder why.
Arnab,
I wonder why.
While Mr. Gadkari is talking, Mr. Advani is acting. In recent weeks, most of the crucial decisions that were taken, they were taken at the bidding of Mr. Advani. And Mr. Gadkari merely acquiesced. So I think he's already abdicated his leadership to the senior leader, that is Mr. Advani. And there was never a doubt that Advani continues to remain the weightiest representative of the BJP on any high table. Mr. Gadkari is just a side player.
Interesting spin you're giving to it. You might have a point there. We'll follow that up. Vinod Sharma, BP Singhal, Vinod Mehta and Abhishek Singhvi. Thank you very much. We don't know where that fight is really going to go. If Mr. Gadkari makes another comment in another 24 hours, well, to put it simply, it's going to become a little predictable. Coming up in the next debate on the News Hour tonight, in less than 2 minutes from now, a major caste group, the Jat Mahasabha, is saying they will simply surround and block Delhi during the Commonwealth Games. Is that possible? And why are they making that threat? And are the politicians, most importantly, taking them on? That in 2 minutes tonight.